All right, what is up, folks? Welcome back to another episode of Lifting, Running, and Living with your favorite currently still coaches, Kelly.
Hello.
Hey, and JK, that's me. The streak continues until. So,
Yeah.
kicking off episode number 56, we are going to talk a couple of fitness headlines. We'll call them fitness headlines, things within the fitness algorithm, so to speak. Going to talk about a creatine gummy scandal that has taken the fitness world by storm. Not really, but thought it's kind of spicy and interesting, especially if you're overseas across the pond.
Oh yeah, it's the fitness world's spring energy gate.
Yeah, that did remind me of it. And then we're also going to cover a little video that went viral about a guy who basically kept competing in Hyrox while his partner was being attended to by like emergency medical
Medical
professionals.
staff.
Yes, we're not talking like, yo, your ankle is sprained. It sounds like it was like a serious thing going on.
Yeah.
Possibly passed out. I don't know. So anyways, before we get into either of those topics, let's start things off as we always do with some updates. So Kelly, what's going on with you?
The only update I want to talk about this week is the hill climb was last weekend.
Yeah.
Was that last weekend? Yeah. It feels time is weird. I don't know what time is anymore. But yes, last weekend on the 5th was the hill climb. Yet again, another year I convinced a crew of people to suffer with me somehow.
It's impressive.
It is impressive because this race isn't easy. So for anyone who is unfamiliar with the hill climb, I can't remember last time I described it, so I'm going to do it again for you. It's basically a race in Vail, Colorado. You start in town in Vail Village, and you run the first mile through town, and then you start going up the dirt road, which I think in winter is like a green ski slope. Or it might just be a fire road. I don't know. But either way, it's a slope like that. And then a dirt road up to the top. You run to Mid-Vail, which is the top of Gondola 1. So you start around 8,000 feet, end at 10 something. And you gain 2,200 feet in 7.7 miles. But it's really 2,200 feet in like 6 miles because the first mile is flat through town. And the last half mile is downhill to the finish. So the middle 6 are where all the elevation is.
Yikes. Okay.
Yeah.
Love that for you. Fantastic. And it went well?
Yeah, it went well. I had to wear last year's shirt in honor of the race. So my goals going into it, I just wanted to beat my time from last year, which was 141 something, some change. And I didn't have a plan to execute that. Because for anyone who doesn't know, when I race, I just race off vibes. I don't like to check my watch. I don't like strict times. Like even in the 5Ks, like I'll like spot check my watch, but I don't like in this mile I'm going to aim for this, and then this mile I'm going to aim for this.
Same.
I kind of go off effort and
vibes.
Yeah, effort and vibes, and kind of see, okay, this isn't the best race strategy if you actually like have a time goal, but I was like, I'm just going to do what I do every other year and just try to push when I can. And I wanted to run more than I did the previous year, and I ended up running 2 minutes more than last year.
Okay.
Yeah. And my overall time, I lowered by 3 minutes. So
that's
that
pretty
was
significant,
exciting.
right? 3 minutes?
Yeah.
That's okay.
It's pretty good. I think I can do even lower because I was comparing my splits from this year to last year. And the first mile I ran faster, which I was excited about because that's the flat mile.
Mm-hmm.
The middle, mile 2 was faster as well. Miles 3 and 4 were slower. And 3 and 4 is where it's the steepest. And that's where I always get to this point in the race. I'm going up these steep switchbacks on this road, and I'm just like, why am I choosing to do, like, no one's making me do this. Why am I here?
But what's a switchback?
Oh, it's just, when you're a trail, a switchback doesn't go straight up the mountain. So like not the shortest path up, it winds back and forth.
Okay.
So that's a switchback. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But yeah, in that middle section is when I question everything. And before the race, I was questioning because I always get really nervous before races, especially this race. And I was like, why do I do this every year?
Really?
Yeah,
What do you get nervous about?
it's just going to be hard. Like running up a hill is really hard, you know? And
Okay.
I think especially this one because it's
Yeah.
hard.
Yes, Kelly, I do.
Yeah.
I do
But
know.
this one's hard for so long, you know? Like the 5Ks I get nervous about because usually I want to like beat a certain time and
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm going to push hard, but I also know they're going to be finished in less than 25 minutes, right? But the hill climb,
Okay.
yeah, the hill climb, like I knew last year I ran 141, the year before I ran 147, so I was like this
Ah,
is a long time to suffer.
yeah.
Yeah.
And yet,
Um
and yet, you willingly, voluntarily did it. So
yeah, I'm
okay.
going to do it again next year. Uh but yeah, it's funny. Once I got past the steepest switchback, since I've done this race for the past 2 years, I knew that was like the worst of it. And the rest, like, yeah, there's inclines and we're still going up, but there's more runnable sections. And by that, I mean it's like flattens out a bit or there's like a little rolling. Um, so then
Hmm.
I just like got a second wind in the second half and I was like, I gotta go. I just gotta run really fast now when I can
Send
and
it.
walk. Yeah.
Full send. Just go.
Yeah.
I like
And
it.
then yeah. For the last half mile, they have a little sign that says, I think, high point of the course or something like that. And once you see that, well, again, since I've run this race before, I know that means like it's just downhill to the finish.
Yeah.
So then you can fully send it. Like there's no more up. Um, so that was exciting. And a lot of my group did really well for what they wanted to do. Um,
Cool.
yeah. And it was really fun. And we're still waiting on some photos, but
Sweet.
that's that's part of the allure of this race because they give you the photos for free, which is nice because a lot of races, like road races, they usually charge you for your photos, which
Yeah.
is totally understandable. Uh,
Yeah.
but it's really special when you get free photos, especially like on top of a mountain, you know?
Was it when it comes to like the free photos or photos included in registration, is the registration for the race pretty reasonably priced, or does it seem like the photos are baked into the registration price? Like
Mm-mm.
elevated. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this race is pretty cheap in terms of
Oh,
race
okay.
registrations. Yeah. And I had another group discount this year, so it was
Mhm.
10% off. And early bird pricing was, I think my final cost with like the service fee or whatever they add on, maybe tax, whatever. It
Mhm.
was like $40, which
That
is really,
wow, yeah, that's very reasonable.
yeah,
Dang,
yeah,
that's really reasonable. That's like a day and a half drop in at a nice gym out of town.
yeah. Or
Those will
it's
easily
like,
run you like 25-ish bucks. That's
yeah.
how I calculate. That's where my brain goes.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing to point out because this is it's a fairly popular race, but it is a local race. And same with like the 5Ks I do in the fall, they're both like $35 to $40 each. So
Nice.
like find local races that you can do. You don't always have to do like the big road races are expensive. Like the 5Ks I've done in San Diego were like 80 to $100, which is kind
Yeah,
of crazy for a 5K.
it's wild.
But again, bigger productions. The local races are great for that and the vibes are good. But yeah, it was a lot of
Cool.
fun. My only complaint was there is at the end is when you get your shirt, which I appreciate
Hmm.
because I don't really want it when I do packet pickup, especially if it's like if I pick up my bib the morning of, I don't want my shirt at the same time. Um, and so I went up and the guy was like, "Oh, the women's shirts are over there." And I was like, "Actually, can I have a men's medium?" I get a men's medium every single year because I hate women's cuts.
Okay.
And he goes, "No, I can't. I can only give you a women's shirt." And I was like,
Interesting. Hmm.
"Yeah." I was like, "What?" And he was
Yeah.
like, "You can come back at the end and see if there's any left over that I can trade you." And I was like, "Okay." So it happened to my friend too. We both wanted men's shirts.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, because we just like, the looser shirts. They're like our lifting shirts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, Not that I need to justify why I want a men's shirt, but
Right. Interesting. Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
But then we
maybe
went.
if you submit some feedback, perhaps they'll adapt.
Yeah, it was just weird because the previous 2 years I haven't had that situation.
Yeah.
They've just given me whatever size I wanted, and then even at the end, when I went up to trade, it was like maybe a handful of people hadn't finished yet, uh, which I'd be surprised because it was like 2.5 hours, 2 hours and 45 minutes by this point.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, I can only give you a small. And I was like, why? If you have a medium right there, why can't I have it?
There's, I'm gonna just go on faith that there was something more behind the scenes, maybe some sort of supplier issue, or who knows? Who knows?
Yeah,
I don't know.
you
All right.
are more positive than I.
Sure. We'll go with that. All right. All good then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Other than that, the
Yeah.
race is great. And the shirt, the reason I really wanted the shirt in the size I wanted it is because these are the most comfortable shirts. Like I actually
Mhm.
wear these race shirts.
Gotcha.
And I knew like a women's cut I won't wear. So otherwise,
Yeah.
I
Same.
wouldn't really care.
Totally. I
Yeah.
feel you. There's so much we're vibing on right now. Yeah. Okay. All
But
right.
yeah,
Well, now that we've cleared that up,
that was the race.
let's see. For me,
Yeah.
updates. Training is really, really what's front of mind right now. So I think in the previous episode, or maybe the episode before that, thinking previous episode, I shared how my focus right now is on full-ish body workouts. I say full-ish body just because, like one of the days it's primarily lower body movements with like 1 to 2 upper body, and then the next day is primarily upper body movements with a couple, like I just did the second day today, and it's I think 4 upper body movements and 2 lower body, if I remember correctly.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, that's been going pretty well. So 4 lifting days per week, and then one like core and conditioning day where there's a little bit more higher intensity cardio for short bouts along with some core work. It's a program that one of the days that I program for my gym, and then the other days are pretty flexible, but just trying to, on the non-lifting days, get consistently some level of cardio slash conditioning that are in probably around 20-ish minutes or so on those particular days. So this past Saturday, yeah, a couple of days ago. So this past Saturday, I decided that for my Saturday cardio workout, I was going to do a workout that I programmed for my gym. So for my gym, I program a training program called FitWad. And FitWad is primarily like the primary person that I designed it for frame of reference. The gym that I program for is primarily a CrossFit box on one side and then a barbell club, like weightlifting club, on the other side. It's called Power and Fitness, which I think is a great marketing name, by the way. So on the CrossFit side, though, the FitWad program is part of the program there. So they follow NC Fit programming as like the primary thing. And then I program this other track called FitWad. And that is really where the person that I have in mind is that person who has been doing CrossFit for quite some time and then has realized like, hey, I probably need to work in some more structured hypertrophy based training. However, I like to get my Metcon fix in every now and then. I like to do an AMRAP or an EMOM, and I do still like, some high intensity cardio, but I know that I should be focusing on doing, more traditional, almost bodybuilding style, but I can't completely break free from it. So FitWad is basically designed to be that bridge to slowly bring people over to the dark side of bodybuilding. So on Fridays though, I program a longer cardio workout. So it's more of like a chipper style. Those who are familiar with CrossFit will understand chipper style, where they're longer workouts. They're usually, and when I say longer, we're talking anywhere in the 20 to 30-minute range versus like a 10-minute AMRAP or a quick
Mm.
sprint that's like, and don't get it twisted. If somebody is listening and hasn't done CrossFit before and is like, a 10-minute workout, that can't be all that hard. Okay. When you're going full, like truly full send on something like Fran, yeah, Catch
Yeah.
me later. So anyways, I decided, you know what? Saturday got some flexibility. Let me go ahead and do what I programmed for the gym on Friday. Well, it was like a serious chipper, like a true chipper workout, which it was like, I can't remember everything that was on there, but it basically started off with a 400-meter run or 30 calories on the bike. So you could do either one on the assault bike. Then it went to 50 overhead ball slams. Then you have the run or the bike portion again, and then it was like 30 air or 40 air squats. Then the run or the bike again, and then like 20 up downs. Like it was a true chipper in every sense of the word. And I had told myself I was going to run two of the segments because you could pick, do you want to run or do the bike? And you didn't have to keep the same thing.
Mm.
And holy smokes. I kind of forgot that Sunday is primarily a lower body day.
Uh-huh.
So basically did that entire chipper on Saturday, which took me longer than anyone else who I saw their scores. We'll just leave it at that. It took like the people that did it in the class, I think they were around like 20 to 24 minutes. It
Mhm.
took me significantly longer than that because I was like, oh my gosh. Granted, I was doing it by myself. I feel like I should get some credit. I was
Mm.
doing it by
Yeah.
myself. But yeah, doing all that. And then the next day, I'm on this mad mission on my first workout day to get my hip thrust up to a certain amount. So doing heavy hip thrusts the next day amount. So doing heavy hip thrusts in my day in
Uh-huh.
that like I could have just called it a day after that. I could have called it a day after the hip thrusts alone. So anyways, all that to say, training is going really well right now. Yeah. So training is going really well. Again, the four lifting days, um, one high intensity ish cardio day, and then a couple of days where I can go anywhere from like zone 2, zone 3, or make bad decisions and decide to do like a long metcon on
Yeah.
Fridays. I don't or on Saturdays. I don't think I'm going to do that again. Um, yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that again next week because I'm really going after. I haven't decided the number, but I'm going after like a pretty heavy hip thrust.
Mm.
So I'll keep that in my next training cycle. I'm going in 4-week blocks, so I'll keep that in my next training cycle in August with the hip thrust goal. So that's what's going on training wise. And then from a nutrition standpoint, which does correlate with my training, still working on slowly but surely trying to get my estimated total daily energy expenditure to a particular caloric range. So I emphasize estimated just because I'm not in some sort of a lab where I can get an exact, but there's a
Mm.
general range that I'm trying to get to. And I'm primarily using the estimated expenditure from an app called Macro Factor, where I log most of what I eat. Yeah, I logged every day last week. So
Hmm.
log what I eat, log my weight, and then check in with that once a week and it'll adjust calories. So slowly but surely my calories have been increasing while also I'm tracking other things like my sleep. I weigh daily, my resting heart rate, and then do measurements and picks once a week. And all of those things have moved. They have either maintained or moved in a positive direction. So my weight has pretty much stayed within about a 2-pound swing. And that's what I want to do. Keep my weight within about a 2-pound swing of where it currently is while getting my daily calories up. Like I want to be able to
Mm.
really bump up
Yeah.
what my estimated TDEE is without having like significant changes to my weight and body composition. So I'm not
Mm.
specifically looking to like, body recomp right now or anything like that. I seriously, I just want my calories up.
Yeah.
I just want my calories up. Yeah. And, improve sleep quality. So the sleep quality is getting better. And my resting heart rate is average, like the benchmark is about 1 to 2 beats per minute lower than it
Nice.
had been a couple of months ago. So that's getting better and better. So yeah,
Exciting.
that is that's my main update for now. And then also shameless plug for anybody who is interested, I have a free fitness foundations community that has launched. It is not social media based in any way, shape, or form. So if anybody is interested, then just DM me on Instagram, or just DM me on Instagram, and I will send you an invite. The only thing I'm going to need is your email address, because I send it to you via email, and you can join. Today we're recording on a Monday. Yeah, we're recording on a Monday, and
Mhm.
theme for July on Mondays is Meal Share Monday. So you just post it.
Ooh,
Yeah, and you can post anytime, like,
I
really.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a meals and snack ideas channel in the group.
Yeah.
So my vision for that is, because hopefully other people are gonna have something to contribute, because I am so basic. Like, it's like, guys, here's a ground turkey from the left angle. Here's ground turkey from the right. Here's ground turkey from the top. Like, I'm pretty basic when it
Yeah.
comes to like anything I actually make. So if anybody is interested, it is a group that is specifically built to provide a community of people who are focused on habits, like healthy habits, how you eat, how you sleep, how you exercise. So it doesn't mean that if you are looking to lose weight that you're not welcome, or if you're looking to do whatever, you're not in any way, shape, or form. It's just, this is not a community that is formed specifically around like weight loss tips.
Hmm.
So it's not like it's a bad word. It's just, that's not the core of the community.
Yeah.
And I've just found that a decent amount of times that just ends up being like all that people talk about. And I'm like, it's not off limits. It's just
Yeah.
that I'm not down with that being the focus every single day. Like, can you live one day? So hit me up. So those are my updates. That's what I got.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it's been cool so far. So, all right, you want to get into topics?
Oh yeah.
Let's start with the creatine one, because that
Yeah. Let's
one's,
start. The creatine one is more interesting.
is it really? Yeah.
I
Okay.
think so.
Yeah, the other one's a little bit more pop culture-y, I'd say.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, we'll get into it.
Yeah. All right. So the creatine one. So what we are talking about. So shout out to my former client Lynn, who sent me this YouTube video. So she sends me this YouTube video last week, I think it was, because I sent it to you, I think, a few days
Yeah.
later. So she sends me this YouTube video, and she's like, "Yo, you might want to check this out. This is pretty interesting." So the YouTube video is from James Smith, and I I was going to describe him as a YouTuber. However, he is definitely, I mean, he is a YouTuber, and he even talks about like different ways to grow your YouTube channel. However, very, very, very deeply entrenched in the online fitness community.
Hmm.
So very much in that lane. And he put out a video, and perhaps we can put the video in the show notes, you think? Okay.
Yeah.
And basically it was like, the creatine gummy scandal has gotten worse, or something like that. And I had not heard anything about this, but I was like, oh, first thing I do is open it up to see how long it is. And it's like 16
Yeah.
minutes. I'm like, okay, we can do this while I warm up on the bike. Like, all good.
Mm.
Man, like 3 minutes in, I was like, oh, this is legit. This is interesting. So basically what happened is that he started investigating the accuracy of the creatine content, in specifically in creatine gummies. So he picked a number of different companies. I can't remember exactly how many, but he picks a number of different companies.
Quite a few.
Very similar to a story that we covered some time ago with Spring Energy and their whole debacle, right? So he
Yeah.
picks a number of different companies, and he pays money, like a good healthy chunk of money, to get
Hmm.
all of these things third party tested, to try and uncover, okay, these particular things that claim that they have X amount of creatine, how much is actually in there. And I think just about all of them were slightly off. I mean, it was pretty, if I
There
remember
was like
correctly.
one, and there was at least one
Yeah,
I remember because he
that
was like,
was right.
"Good job to this company."
Yeah. And you know what? Yeah, if we cared about like really getting into the details, we'd make sure we were fair and balanced, or whatever it's called that Fox News claims to be, uh, and talk about like one up that, hype up that one company.
Mm,
However, we're just here for the scandal. So,
yeah. I would
um,
also say just like get some powder if you want creatine.
well, we'll get to that part. We'll get to
Yeah.
that part. So creatine gummies. Okay, so he sends all these things off for testing, and most of them come back with being somewhat off in how much they claim. However, there was one company that was like hella off.
There
And
were quite a few that were like could not detect.
right, I think, yeah, you are correct. I only watched the video once, and it was a while ago, so I don't remember all the details. I just remember that there was the one company, Push, that
Yeah, they were the
stood
big
out,
one.
and they were way off the charts, completely wrong. So basically what happens is James Smith, he sends these samples of two different flavors to a company called Eurofins, which Push Supplements claims that that's who they used for their testing, like right off the bat. And I think it was even advertised on their packaging or something like that, that they had been verified. And
Yep.
what happens is he gets the results back, and it shows that the creatine levels were only 2.3 to 2.5% of what the labeled amount claimed, which basically meant that there was close to none
Yeah.
in there. So 2%, two
Yeah.
and a half to 2.5% accuracy. So
Hmm.
yeah. So he basically puts them on blast on YouTube. I mean, when we talk about like have the receipts, he not only had the receipts, he had like the original like computer that the receipts were printed on. He had
Yeah.
everything here.
Uh-huh.
So then Push, they start getting some backlash. So then they respond by saying that the third party testing for standard powders isn't the same as the testing for pectin based gummies,
Hmm.
is what they claim. So they said that their own results, let me see here, their own results using a modified USP creatine monograph through Eurofins confirmed that each gummy did have the amount that they claimed. So basically they were like, yo, your results were off because you used the wrong testing method. you
Hmm.
you needed to use the gummy testing method, not the powder testing method. So then this is so petty, I love it. James Smith is like, bet. So then he sends sealed untouched gummies from the same batch. Bro went to the batch number.
Yep.
So he sends that to Eurofins and specifically requests their preferred method. The result, still it says no creatine detected. So then he starts calling them. So he starts calling them out. James Smith starts calling them out on different irregularities where they had like QR codes that were getting redacted. And then possibly like, okay, well, maybe there are substitutions when you sent in samples. Maybe there were things that got switched around. And he even threw out, I couldn't tell if he was being serious or if he was being kind of like sarcastic, where he's like, well, maybe it's that, you know, they test a certain batch for to report to you, but then they send you different stuff. It's almost like
Mm.
we used, you know, bucket A for testing, but bucket B is what we actually send you, you know, like all that
Yeah.
stuff. um so yeah, that's basically, he was like, well, maybe, you know, maybe that's the deal, but it almost seemed like he was kind of being snarky about it, which I would totally too. So basically at this point now, I believe they halted their sales and they start investigating, and they put a global pause on creatine gummy sales. And then they launched a new round of third party lab testing on the New Zealand manufactured batches. I'm assuming that's where he might be located, or something like
Yeah.
that, or maybe where they're located. So then basically, so they shut everything down to go back through and do like retesting, redo the whole thing, all that good stuff. But at this point, like, the cat's out of the bag, so to speak, or I don't know. So basically at this point, their reputation is just completely ruined. Like completely ruined. And so I went to their Instagram page that day, and there's, you know, it's the whole like comments have been limited and
Yeah.
all that stuff. Like they're just getting crushed completely. So it just starts to bring out so as scandalous as that is, and as, kind of fun as, well, not maybe fun as a story as that is, how spicy of a story that is, it's like yet again another instance of supplement companies like
Yeah.
flat out lying about what they contain. So it begs particular, like, a bigger talking point and question about like how much faith people should really put into these things. And as you, I mean, even you, so you mentioned like, okay, we'll just go with powder. And it's like, well, at this point, unless it's third party tested,
Yeah.
then, who can you really trust at this point? So it's kind of a wild ride that we are now on with supplements at this point. So I don't know, when you read this story, like, anything that stuck out to you, or what did you think? Surprise, not surprise, but
Uh, well, so I had actually heard of Push before you sent me this video.
oh, I had not at all.
The only reason why, which I find interesting now, is there is a running influencer who I sometimes watch her YouTube videos, and she got gifted Push creatine gummies.
Oh, okay.
And then she was making a series on like my experience with creatine.
Hmm.
And I find it interesting now because she did like a week of taking the gummies, and the next week she was like, I can tell a difference. I feel stronger in my workouts. Like I feel like I can go up in weight. And
Oh,
now I'm like, is it placebo? Or like I do have suspicions that she could have gone up in weight before. Like with the limited content I've seen from her
yeah.
lifting, I'm like, you can go heavier. Like
Oh,
you could
snap.
have done this
Okay.
before, you know?
Okay, that's fair.
Obviously, like for anyone listening, I'm not really going off of much. I'm just going off of what she shares. But I mean, we've talked about this before. Many women like sell themselves short in lifting and can go heavier. They just, for whatever reason, think they can't or like are nervous about it, whatever it may be. But I found it interesting that she started taking the creatine and then was like, let me bump up my weights because I'm taking creatine.
Right,
Come to
right.
find out, Push is like there probably wasn't any creatine in her batch unless it was like, the snarky situation he said, which would be the more insidious situation, I think,
Yeah.
if they knowingly sent a better batch to the testing and then knowingly shipped consumers something with nothing in it. Um, but yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I know Push.
That is interesting. Yeah, I had not heard of them, and then as I started looking at their page, it's like, oh, this does seem like they're pretty popular. But I'm assuming because
Yeah.
they're based overseas that that's probably kind of a bigger deal there. I do think you bring up a good point where it starts to bring even more into question, like how much the placebo effect really does potentially impact. And I've seen the placebo effect, like it is definitely like super real,
Oh
super
yeah.
real. I've had a friend that I worked out with before that I told I was giving them like pre workout, and I knew it wasn't actually pre workout. It was BCAAs like back in the day. I'm not gonna lie. I was I was trying to I was trying to prove a point
Yeah,
that
I
they needed.
figured.
Yeah, I was trying to prove a point that they were going to be just fine and needed to back off the caffeine and they would be completely fine. So
Oh.
gave them a scoop of what I told was my pre-workout. There was nothing there. Checked back with them later on in the day. Totally fine. Like all good. Like, yeah, man, like I'm amped. Like whatever you gave me. Cool. I gave you flavored water. So there you go, my friend. So
Uh,
anyways,
that's
um,
funny.
I I wouldn't at this point, like nothing surprises me in the
Yeah.
supplement industry, and I would not even be completely shocked if the company was sending, like, if they had an awareness of certain batches being more potent than others and send the potent batches or the ones that are closer to accurate to the athletes to make
Yeah.
sure that they got that versus somebody else. I mean, I even think about it. It's kind of a little bit of a correlation. Like I think about, we have the t-shirt company Feed Your Habits, and I think about if we're trying to reach out to somebody for sponsorship and things like that, like maybe we are like extra meticulous with, we want to see their item before we send it to them.
Mm.
Or I have definitely been aware of apparel companies, because I've kind of dabbled in this a little bit, because we're going to be looking at trying to find um, like low to mid tier people that we can send some stuff to, who have like a low to mid tier online presence,
Hmm.
to see
Yeah.
if we can try and get the product in their hands. And I'm aware of some other apparel companies and just overall like gym equipment, like lifestyle companies, who will manufacture things a certain way so that it's got a certain level of quality for that person. And then you use
Oh.
something just a little bit. It's not like, not grossly different, but you're talking like the difference of $3 to $4 per shirt, with
Hmm.
going from like a next level, so let's say like 6,300 to a next level 3,500 or something like that. And when your
Hmm.
cost, when your cost per item is a little bit higher, especially as a small business, like that can make or break whether or not you break even on something, especially if you bake shipping into there. So
Yeah.
just thinking about that, I still think though, at the end of the day, like that's uncalled for though. Like that's just straight dishonest. If you're going to claim that something has X amount,
Yeah.
then to come up with no creatine detected is crazy work.
It's a straight up lie.
Yeah, that's crazy work.
Yeah.
So I do think it, also, just one other thing that I want to throw out there to you, and get your thoughts on this. I have a feeling that you may be on the somewhat same highway with me on this one. With
Okay.
this can this also can help with validating the argument of, at the end of the day, trying to get the majority of what you need from a macro and micronutrient standpoint from real food sources, mostly whole foods and things like that. Like, and I understand that creatine in and of itself is not like something, I mean, it's a supplement. It's basically like purely there for to supplement. However,
Yeah.
like the base of it is ensuring that you are getting in enough, or that you're getting in adequate protein, and also lifting weights, so doing some sort of
Hmm.
resistance training. Because I've seen a few, maybe a couple of studies, if memory serves me correctly, where they were looking at the effects of creatine when somebody was not resistance training, and it was significantly like less impactful from an
Mm.
overall like performance standpoint. In fact, I had somebody
Yeah.
on my podcast like quite a while back, who was talking about how, because she focuses primarily on performance athletes, and she was like,
Mhm.
actually, creatine, from her standpoint, she was like, it's actually not the greatest when it comes to like trying to improve speed and things like that. So
Hmm.
very different focus though. She's got a
Yeah.
different, yeah, Alex has a really different focus there. But yeah, I don't know your thoughts on, like, am I stretching by saying this is a kind of a reminder of, at the end of the day, counting on supplements to be the thing that like really moves the needle? This is another reason why it's just not, like, you still got to get the basics in.
Yeah. I would also say it's a reminder, like, to do your research as much as you can,
Mhm.
because I haven't done research on Push, so I can't say. Obviously, they listed they had third-party testing, which,
Yeah.
like, I'm not entirely sure how
Yeah.
you get around that, because, like, that's one of the things that I look for in supplements, and, like, in the US, I
Mhm.
think it's might maybe actually don't know compared to overseas. But, like, most companies, if they have third-party testing, they'll list it, and I don't know. I feel like a lot of the companies, this might be unfair of me, but I feel like a lot of these companies that pop up out of nowhere and then all of a sudden a bunch of influencers are touting it
Yeah.
are, you know, be more cautious, I should say.
Yeah.
Um, like when I think of supplements, like my favorites are like Legion, Momentous.
Yeah.
Legion has, you could probably say they have had a lot of like influencers, but it's like, I don't know. It was like Dockless. She was one of theirs
Yeah.
that I saw back in the day. Like
Hmm.
really big ones who, maybe this is a broader discussion about influencers too. Like if Dockless has a sponsorship of some sort, a connection to
Hmm.
a company, I trust her to not sell us bullshit, you know? Um,
Yeah. I
it's hard though.
I agree with you initially, and then it just seems though, Yeah, I agree with you that influencers, we connect with people based on what we believe about that person. Like
Yeah.
she's built a platform on I'm not about BS and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then, I'm pretty sure at some point, like Andrew Huberman probably started that way too, or at some point was more
Mhm.
of a low to mid tier,
Yeah.
there's, I can't think of like any, what's her name? Dr. Gabrielle Lyons.
I don't
There's people who are,
think I know her.
yeah, it's very rare that you have somebody who is, actually Lane Norton is one.
Mhm.
So somebody at Lane Norton's level, and when I say level, I mean like for the most part, just about most people who are within the fitness industry have heard of Lane Norton before.
Yeah.
And Lane Norton has a, supplement company, and he this is kind of like one of the things that he's really well known for is that once enough research came out that proved that branched chain amino acids basically were a absolute and total waste of money, like a BCAAs are a waste of money, he stopped
Mhm.
selling them in his supplement line. Like he actually pulled them
Hmm.
from his supplement line, and that was some years ago now at this point.
Yeah.
So I think though, you go back to somebody like, it's Alyssa Olenek. Yeah, Dockless
Yeah.
Fitness. And, yeah, she's got that as her brand right now. You trust her because she speaks out about stuff, and I'm a fan of her stuff too. And then people get to a certain level and it's like the money starts talking, and all of a sudden they're like, all of a sudden now they like, armor colostrum and athletic greens. You're like, yo, what happened? What happened with the switch up, So I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a tough world out there, I tell you. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the scandal. Kelly will put the link in the show notes for the YouTube video. It was just really interesting, very well produced too. It was just entertaining, I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
very well
did an
produced.
AG1 video like
Yes,
2 years
a couple of
ago.
years ago. Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he's
So,
that guy.
yep. All right. Well, let's do a quickie here on the Hyrox Hyrox thing. This one was so. In case you missed it, a guy on, I think he was on Instagram is where I saw it, just because I'm not on TikTok.
I
But
saw
this
it on
guy,
TikTok.
okay, so this guy posts, is basically posting from Hyrox, and he was like, "Yo, can't believe it! This guy literally, is competing in doubles, and for Hyrox doubles, like it's what it sounds like. You have a partner." So he's
Mhm.
competing with his female partner. I don't know if it's girlfriend or wife or something. It seemed like they were together.
Mhm.
And all of a sudden the partner collapses. So she collapses during the wall ball station and is unresponsive. So we're not, like I said, alluded to at the beginning, not like, ooh, broke her ankle or something like that, like unresponsive. So paramedics come in and she's laying on the ground. Why are you laughing, Kelly? Well, she's okay now,
Yeah.
but she's laying on the ground twitching. She's
Ugh.
twitching on the ground and paramedics are there. Bro continues to compete. So he basically like tapped her and checked with the judge to say like, "Hey, do I need her in order to go on?" Like
Which he
basically,
does.
do we have to finish? And the judge said no.
Which I think the judge is wrong. I'm pretty sure in doubles you have to cross the line together.
I don't know. I didn't bother going any further than that
Yeah.
because
And
that's
wall
not the
balls,
part that I was interested in anyway.
fair. For anyone interested, wall balls is the last station before you cross the finish line.
Oh, well, there you go. Okay. So
So,
basically, he checks in with he taps her. She's twitching and checks with the judge like, "Hey, do I need her to finish?" And apparently judge said no. So he finishes the event solo. And this guy who's not live streaming, well, I don't know, he's videoing,
he's just
and he's
recording from the
yeah, and he's
sideline
just like, "This dude's a loser and I can't believe this," and all the other stuff. So then he posts it. I think last I looked on Instagram, the reel had like 2.1 million views,
and believe
and
that.
it goes viral because people are basically calling him like completely unsupportive and can't believe that he would do something like that. There was a comment that was absolutely diabolical. that said, clearly he's used to finishing without her.
Oh my god.
I was like, dang. So, yeah, I was like, oh, bro's getting killed. So, anyways,
Yeah.
actually, you're right. It does say here in the notes, according to Hyrox rules, both teams must finish the race to receive an additional
Yeah. I'm
receive
pretty
an official
sure
time. Yeah.
pretty sure you have to like stay with your partner the whole time because I remember listening to Joy's recap when
Mm,
her and Rebecca did it.
uh-huh.
And like they had to be at every station together, they had to run together. So like I
Gotcha.
don't think you can leave your partner at all.
Well, for anybody who is concerned, she did later regain consciousness and was taken for medical evaluation. So, basically, the the question for you, was he right? Was he wrong? Like, what would you, well, I'm assuming you think he was wrong, correct?
Well, I
Or
mean,
yeah, what do you think? Let
the
me not put words in
I
your
think the more interesting question it like as the rules state he's wrong. Like even if I thought he was right, if you
mouth. Hmm.
finish you get no time. So like what's the point? And I'm not saying that I think he's right.
Okay.
But like the more interesting question I think that you're asking is like if you could finish alone, is he still
Yeah,
wrong?
sure. Yeah. Okay. So
I
that's the
mean,
question that I have for you.
yeah, I think there is not one situation that would happen in my life
Hmm.
that I can think of. If I'm competing with Ty, he collapses, then I'm like, all right, bye. I need to go finish this, you know?
Bye.
Like the only
Non-responsive and twitching
yeah,
is wild.
yeah. Like the only thing I could even come close to making me have that reaction would be something of like the Olympic level, a
Okay.
lot of money's on the line kind of thing. Those two are not the same, by the way. But,
Right.
you
Right.
know,
Yeah.
like
That's a good point. Yeah.
something like that, but not like a local Hyrox competition where they're not even in the elite field. Even
Oh,
if you were in the elite field, at least I'm
yeah.
assuming you're
Yeah.
not.
I see. See, I haven't even looked. I haven't looked at like what the level. I know it was in Sydney, I think, Australia. So I didn't. I didn't look at like what level
Yeah.
it was. I don't know if this was like a
I
rank.
actually don't know. I will
Yeah.
redact that statement.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
even if they were,
Does that make it?
you can't get a time. Like,
Okay.
okay, if you're in the elite field and you don't know the rules, then that's a different issue. You should know the rules. And you shouldn't be asking a judge, "Can I go finish as my partner here is
It's so.
potentially dying?"
So what's somewhat interesting to me though is from my point of view, like low key, you're bringing a lot of like the rules and stuff into. It almost seems like you're subconsciously bringing those factors into the decision making process. This is not a judgment. This isn't a judgment.
This is just how my brain works. Don't you
Right.
know?
Right.
I'm
Right.
very
Right.
logical.
Yeah.
Logically speaking, he should know the rules.
Yeah.
Logically speaking,
I
the
guess where I'm
rules don't
coming
say you can
from.
finish alone.
Right. I
Yes, on a
guess.
human level, he should not have done that.
Yeah.
Taking
Well,
out
I guess
rules,
where I'm coming from is
competition.
asking the question of, do you stay or do you go regardless. It's almost like your answer is, well, I mean, it depends on the rules. Like if I it doesn't matter if I stay or if I go, if I'm going to get disqualified anyway. Like I'm going to get disqualified, so why would I keep going? So I don't know. I think
Yeah.
it's also very easy to Monday morning quarterback the heck out of this thing with like, here's what I would do in the situation. And I
Oh
speak
yeah.
with the very explicit bias of a parent, as people are like, well, I would never let my child. And I'm like, oh, says, tell me you don't have kids without telling me you don't have kids.
Yeah.
Like I would never let my kids watch TV. Okay. All right then. So yeah, I don't know. I think I'm trying to picture a scenario if I'm in a competition like that. I got to be straight up. So I have to be straight up with you. I'm
Okay.
trying to play, I don't even, it's not really devil's advocate. I can think though of friends that I have who, if we were to compete and we had worked super hard to get ready for something,
Hmm.
that I can think specifically of a couple of people who would be like, I am, if I, like, if and when I wake up and you didn't keep going, I'm gonna be pissed.
Mm.
I can absolutely think it, because if I'm thinking we put a ton of work into this, we
Yeah.
trained blood, sweat, and tears, whatever, and then last minute this thing happens and there's people like, dude, what were you going to do for me?
Yeah.
Then I could see I have two specific people in my head right now who would be like, why did you stop? Why didn't you keep going? So I don't know. They very well could have had that sort of
Yeah.
relationship, or that sort of, maybe they even talked about it. Who knows? Like that sort of a thing. So I don't know, but dude is getting absolutely like creamed
Yeah.
online.
What
So,
I find more interesting
mm-hmm.
is that the spectator posted this, right?
Uh-huh.
And then the guy in the video gets a lot of hate, understandably, right?
Okay.
And then I saw a comment, it must have been on TikTok, by the creator who posted the video,
Yeah.
like saying, don't try to find these people, don't give them hate, blah, blah, blah. And in my mind, I'm like, you did this though. You thought to post this on a public platform for everyone. So you can't like take it back now and be like, don't go have a reaction about what I just posted about this person, you know?
So like the level of responsibility when he decided to put him on blast.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like, what did you expect to happen when you posted that video? You know?
Mm.
Like, I mean, I don't think people assume something's going to go viral, but like, worst case, something you post goes viral. And you
Yeah.
post a video like that, like, oh, I can't believe this happened at Hyrox. This dude just left his partner laying on the ground. She's unconscious. Like, the humans on the internet are not nice when they see
That's
something
facts. That's
for 10
facts.
seconds, like you have in your notes about a viral video. So it's like, I mean, I'm guessing he just wasn't thinking in the moment, but I find that question more interesting, like,
Okay, so
about,
some context helps a bit because this guy is a content creator. He's got in his bio, his name's
oh,
Aaron, Aaron, Aaron Boundy _
okay.
And in his bio, it says UGC/content creator.
So he kind of wants his stuff to go viral or get seen by lots of
One
eyeballs, I
would,
should
yeah,
say.
one would think. And also, he has some other reels where it's like, let's train for Sydney Hyrox. I mean, he puts up
Yeah.
some. He's not like really. He doesn't have a lot of content. He's got a little less than 500
Mm,
posts. However, he consistently, he consistently posts things. So this is
yeah.
not like just somebody who like one day was like, well, I think I'll live stream whatever. Like
Right.
this,
Yeah.
this guy is kind of doing like vlog style with his reels. So I don't know. I do think that you have a point there, because that's something I think that's something that's relatable that you just brought up, because
Hmm.
we as everyday people, we see things all the time,
Yeah.
even if they're quote unquote like little things. And it would be really easy for us to, video it and then blast it out to the internet and have no intention of it being something that goes viral. But I would even like to think that we probably are on the same wavelength where we're like, I don't think it's fair for me to put this person on blast to the 32 people who might watch this.
Hmm.
I don't know. Like even when I talk on my podcast, I'm like, I'm definitely not broadcasting to 2.1 million people, but even I will not like give specific details about specific people or anything
Yeah.
like that. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know.
I think it's just a little irresponsible. It's like
I,
maybe the perception now, like he's backpedaling kind of, which I always
I,
hate to see on the internet, but
I could definitely, I mean, I would definitely, I don't know. I would definitely be comfortable talking about what I witnessed for sure.
yeah. I mean, I think that's very different than like, here is the video of this person doing this, you know? Like, if he was really concerned, he should have taken that video and gone to someone at High Rocks, right?
Like, what was the motive there?
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
if you're,
Okay.
because I think he, if I remember the video correctly, was like, how can High Rocks allow this? was like his caption or something. Something to
Yeah, he
that
might
effect.
he might also be like a not ambassador, but maybe, you know what I mean? Like it seems like they have a pretty widespread social media like web. So who knows?
Yeah.
Well, then again, that if he is with Hyrox, that didn't work out well because
Yeah.
he basically kind of called him out. But I don't know. It is interesting though. And I put in to my girl Chat GPT some ideas for like what would be a potential, like what are some questions that would pop out of this. And one of the things that she spit back out, which I thought was a good question, not that we need to deep dive into it, but just really thinking about like the line between mental toughness and emotional detachment.
Hmm.
Like at what point is it like, okay, it's not about being like super mentally tough right now. Like I need to be a human and help my friend
Hmm.
or my partner or whatnot. But I can clearly see both sides of the coin. Like I said, I am having no problems thinking of two very specific people who are not crazy nut jobs at all.
Yeah.
They just, if we had been training for something for weeks and weeks and months, and then it came down to it, and especially that's not like we're the only two people out in the wilderness and I like left them in the middle of the woods to
Yeah.
go on. I got to be honest, like the more that I think about this, I'm like, you're with medical professionals. I don't know. The whole like unresponsive and twitching thing.
Yeah. That's
That's,
scary.
yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I walk that back. All right.
The
Maybe I walk
actual
that back.
more telling question, I should
Okay.
say, is not like this exact scenario, but if you are both competing as solos in the event, would you stay with them or go? Because that I think is a situation where more people would go because like you have your own race.
Yeah.
This helps my brain avoid the rules of it all
Okay. That's fair.
because
That's
I'm
fair.
allowed
Cause
to
you're like, I
lose
can't
now.
just get, okay.
Um,
Does
yeah,
that
the
make the
unresponsive
decision
and
tougher for you?
twitching. Yeah,
Well,
I think
based on that guttural moan. Yeah.
especially the point at which they were the wall balls are at the end. So in my mind, if I were this dude, my partner's on the ground, unresponsive and twitching. I check in with medical.
Yeah.
They're tending to him, and they're like, kind of like, you can't do anything. And I've got 30 wall balls left. The finish line is 10 feet away.
Yeah.
I can do my wall balls, run across the line, and run back. You know, not be gone for that long.
I don't know. This is going to be a good one. Uh,
Yeah.
like a what would you do? Make it solo though. If you
Yeah.
put that wrinkle in there, if you're running single, is it singles or solo? Whatever they call it. Is it
Yeah. I
singles?
don't know what they call it. I think it's singles, but
Yeah. What would
I'm
you
not
do?
an expert.
I don't know. This would be a good one. Listeners, we will
What would you
pose
do?
that to you. What would you do in that situation? And the only nuance we're changing is you're not doing doubles, you're doing solo. And it's your training
Yeah.
partner. What would you keep it real? What would you do? All
Is it
right.
your training partner or your partner?
I don't know. We could nuance the hell out of this thing, which we
Well,
really don't
I'm
need to.
just saying, like, I would, no offense to any of my training partners, I would care a lot more about my partner's well being, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully I'm never in
Okay.
that situation. We'll see.
Yeah, me too.
I mean,
But
it's a Hyrox. There's a low
yeah,
possibility of
I have
me. It's
no plans of doing high
too
rocks.
much running for me. Too much running. Anyways, all right. Let's wrap it up. All right. Let's see. Kelly, would you like to tell them where they
Where to find
can
us?
reach out to us, especially if they want to let us know what they would do in that
Yeah,
scenario? Yeah.
you can DM us on Instagram at lifting running living pod, or you can email us at liftingrunninglyvingpod@gmail.com.
Word. All right. If
Yeah.
you have listened this long, we appreciate you very, very much. So thank you for tuning into another episode of Lifting, Running, and Living. We will catch you next time.
Bye.